Hi, I'm Angela from the Rosewood home. For the past 4 years, I have ran a small business creating beautiful, realistic floral arrangements for photographers and brides around the world. It was an absolute dream and I absolutely loved it, but I had a little boy, and with that, my time to run a small shop kind of decreased a little bit. So I decided to transition to teaching everything that I have learned for the past 4 years. Now, I want to start by saying anyone can do this. I would say 6 years ago, I could not put 2 flowers together to save my life. I had no idea what to use. I had no idea what even to purchase, and I have the blackest thumb of them all. So I am 100% self-taught. All the more I did was just study beautiful flower arrangements. I went to Instagram, I went to Pinterest, and I studied, hey, what makes this arrangement beautiful? What is the arrangement of the flowers? What flower type did they pick? And that is how I developed my craft. So I am here today to teach you how to do this yourself. You can do it. So these flowers were generously sent by A Floral. They are my favorite company for realistic, high quality, beautiful floral stems, greenery, and they also sell supplies as well. So let's get started. What do you need to make a beautiful flower arrangement? You need beautiful quality stems. You need floral tape. This is from Hobby Lobby. This is my personal favorite. It's their brown floral tape. It has the right amount of stretch and the right amount of adhesive in it to carry you through the entire design and then also hold it taut. And lastly, you need floral wire cutters. So I will have the entire floral recipe linked for you so that you can see which flowers I purchased. Whenever I am building bouquets, I start with the central flowers. So like the central 3 that I want to build around. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this beautiful Juliet rose, a ranunculus. I am just going to start fiddling with the design. One of the biggest mistakes that I see whenever people are creating faux flower arrangements is that they make it in almost a snow cone shape where everything is at the same level and everything is super tight. I intentionally, so I have this one here, which I love that this one is way up high and this one is down lower. So see how I've intentionally placed them at 3 different levels. Okay, and then the trick to floral tape is that it's stretchy and it's adhesive. So all the more you have to do is just start with the end of it, which a lot of times at the beginning of it, I'll just rip it off. And start where you feel like you want your bouquet handle to start. So I start decently way down because I know I'm gonna have flowers here and flowers here and greenery here and greenery here. So I'm starting down low enough that hopefully whenever I'm completely done, can you see that? Hopefully whenever I am completely done, I won't have any of the brown floral tape showing. I'll just wrap that around a few times. And it is time to pick my 3rd one, my 3rd main stem. I always start with 3, and it takes me a little to figure it out. So the thing I love about floral design is you can just test it out and see what works for you. All right, so I have my 3 main stems that I'm gonna start building my design around. Can you see that? And you see how they're all different kinds and they're all different sizes. I have found that the most realistic floral arrangements will have multiple different sizes and multiple different types of flowers. So that is the biggest error I see is start with variety. Variety is the spice of life. If you look at the beautiful bouquets that are on Pinterest, they have so many different blooms in them. It is just something that if you're gonna go ahead and take the time to make it, go ahead and invest in different flowers. All right, so let's keep going. Now here, I am most likely gonna go ahead and clip apart some of this greenery because I wanna use it in different parts of the bouquet. So if you have never used floral wire cutters before, yes, they work great, but you're gonna have to put a little bit of arm muscle behind it. I used to receive messages asking me what the best way was to cut these stems. Just muscle, start cutting it, bend it back and forth, and it will eventually split on you. So I am intentionally designing this to be a very loose bouquet design. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove what is below my bouquet line here. Okay, so I'm starting to love the direction that that is going with being nice and loose. So let's get some of these other stems mixed in here. So I want this one next, and I am going to start doing some of these out at a diagonal angle on the bouquet. So if you look at all the beautiful bouquets that are popular right now, you will see that the stems come out diagonally, and they'll come out diagonally this way, and then this way, this way, this way, so that the bouquet stands up on its own. And I think that's beautiful. And that's one of the things that also makes faux bouquets look super realistic, is whenever you take time and you pay attention to the stem part. It sounds little, but all these tiny little details make all the difference in making a faux bouquet look real. So I wanted to change the angle so that I can show a few things up close. First, I wanted to show she has a very loose design, which is what I want to start with. If I start with a very loose design, then I can fill in the holes as I go. But secondly, the most important part of having a wedding bouquet is making sure that it stays together properly. And it's kind of a little bit of an art, just a little bit of a trick, I guess. But I wanted to show you how I tape these bouquets. So I start with my roll, and I start with the back side of the tape, and I'm going to place it right here down, and it's going to immediately adhere because it's sticky. And then I'm just going to hold it taut, and I'm going to wrap it very tightly. And that is how my bouquets have always stayed so sturdy. They have gone from Florida to California, threw a wedding in California, and came back to Florida, and they're still looking just as good as the day that I packed them up from Ohio and sent them to Florida. So how you wrap it and how you assemble a bouquet is maybe not just as important as how you design it, but it's very important. Let's put it that way. All right, let's get back to making this bouquet pretty and beautiful. So I have my foundational stems started, and what I am going to do is I'm going to start working in rolls of triangular thirds. So if I have something pink over here, I'm going to want to have something pink over here, and I'm going to want to have something pink in the back. And if I have a Juliet rose over here, I might want to have another one over here and another one over here. So it's always a triangle of things that will complement each other and just kind of bounce back. So we're going to start with my pink foxglove over here, and we're going to take another one, which I actually only have 2 of these ones, but it is okay because I'm going for an asymmetrical bouquet design, and I also don't want my bouquet to be gigantic in the back. I want it to just be more long. So this one is up at this angle here, so I'm going to want this one to be at a lower angle over here, which is hard to design a bouquet from backwards, but we're gonna make the best of it here. So I don't want the angle to match, so I'm just gonna play around with it a little bit here. All right, so that's where I have that one placed. See how this one is coming up at this angle, and then this one is coming a little bit out and lower. So next I am going to start building in some textural pieces. So I've taken this dill and I have clipped it down to a smaller, more manageable piece. And I'm just gonna play with it and add it into someplace But my eye says that's beautiful and that's perfect. That is literally all the more there is to bouquet design. There's the basic rules, but then there's just literally, hey, what is beautiful makes your mind happy. So I'm gonna start incorporating some of the little pops of colors with the poppies. So I have one sprig right here on the outer edge, which has a very loose design to it. So I kind of want to put it on the outer edges to make the bouquet sprawl a little bit more. And then I'm gonna take this other sprig and I'm gonna start working it into the other side because again, I want to be working in visual triangles. I'm just gonna play until I find the spot that I want it to be in. So now I have poppies over here and then poppies over there. I have one more thing of poppies, but I think I'm gonna wait to incorporate that in until I start working at the back. To take a second and show you where I am in design so that you're seeing the purpose behind what I'm doing. So let me see if I can zoom in and kind of show you. So I have these two asymmetrically placed. I have a taupe rose right here, back here, and back here. I'm keeping that triangular bouncing of all the different elements and colors and flower types. I have a ranunculus right here, and back here. So triangle, triangle, triangle. And then I have poppies right here, and right here. So a triangular bounce on there. And then the greenery that I really loved, that's like the snowball look, is right here, and over here. So that is what I do a lot in design is I vary the heights, I choose different flowers, and then I do a triangular bounce around the design. And that's really all the more there is to it. You just play until your brain says, oh, that's beautiful, you're fine. Keep going with what you're doing. All right, so I have the bouquet looking very balanced and just really starting to need to fill in with greenery and some extra texture. So I'm gonna go ahead and start showing you how I do that. So this is the front of the bouquet. I have these beautiful berries, got that movement in them that I want, so that whenever a bride is carrying the bouquet, it looks like it's real florals. It's moving in the wind. And then I'm just gonna go ahead. Here, let me see if I can show you the difference. Whenever you don't have texture and then you do have texture. See how that just adds in just so much pretty texture? And so I have it more front and side on this side, so I'm gonna put it more back on the side, on this side. All right, the back is missing something and just needs a little something something. So I'm just gonna mix in some of these leftover ones that I have. I like to make my bouquets with a specific front and back. Just in my head, just makes more sense to me. All right, so here we are. See how the base is all at angles so that whenever I cut it, it will stand on its own. It looks beautiful on top and very balanced. And now I am going to start adding in the greenery on the outer edges and possibly a little bit of it within the bouquet. And we'll be all done. I will just have to clip the stems and we'll be all done. So this one is one of my favorites and I always add it to the front because it lays really, really well. So I've added one of the sprigs of greenery back here, one of them up here. So I'm going to do my triangle bounce back again and find which spot, which I believe I want it to be in the front. Yes. Be in the front, and then I'm also making it a little bit longer on this side. So I've got that greenery right here, back here, and down here for that triangle. All right, she's all done and ready to walk down the aisle. Look how pretty she is. So we are gonna go ahead and clip her stems. So I honestly just eyeball, and in my head, where I think it's going to look best at is about 5 inches down from the base of the stem. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip one, and then I'm just going to continue back from the end of that. And this takes literally forever, and your hands will be killing you by the time you're done, and you will have sticks all over your floor. So what I was doing right there is I was just adjusting the stem so that the bouquet would stand on its own, and it does, which means I have done my job correctly. And then the very last step, which is totally voluntary, but I like to order silk ribbon or velvet ribbon from Etsy and then just wrap it around the base because that floral tape is very sticky, and it just gives it a beautiful finished fine art look. So let me grab that real quick. We'll do that and we have a finished bouquet. I like to just simply wrap the base floral, where the floral tape is in the ribbon because the tape is naturally sticky, and that's just, you don't want to have a sticky base. So I'll show you how I go ahead and do that. So I take the velvet part out on this side, and so the backing would go against the bouquet back here. And I'm gonna make sure that it's relatively even. I personally like it to be a little asymmetrical. And all the more I'm gonna do, this isn't complicated in the least. I'm just going to fold it over and pull it a little bit tight, and then flip the bouquet over and do the same thing on the other side until I get to the top of the brown floral tape. And there you have it. That is how you design your own wedding bouquet. It just takes 3 simple principles: different types of flowers, different sizes of flowers, and then varying heights within the bouquet, and then try for a triangular placement of like items. So the same type of flower type, the same type of color, the same type of greenery. And that's how you design a faux bouquet to look realistic.